All right, join me on another one. We have the mic hooked up this time. I'm going to tap it. That's the right one. So I started this video a few minutes ago. I'm just going to start all over again. We're back. We're rambling. I got a long drive. Got to pick up a small collection. It is kind of small. It's like $315. I think I'm getting it somewhere around 55 to 60%. There's a mix of Japanese and English. Luckily, no Korean or Chinese. If there were, that's like an eBay listing, and they probably wouldn't really be worth it. eBay is terrible when it comes to fees. Now I see why people call it eBay now. I sold a commander deck there for $110. I netted $92, which is nuts to me. $18 to sell that thing. What I'm confused about is the guy paid for shipping. I still had to also pay for shipping. So I don't know what kind of scam that is, but I need to contact eBay about it. Speaking of other crazy things that's happened, I ordered something from Pokemon Center and I got double charged, $120. So I got to call. They don't really have a phone number. I had to contact the Pokemon company to figure out why I was double charged for the one thing. So this is all just fun shit that's starting to pop up now that I'm in this card space. I wanted to be in it for so long with Magic. I just don't think these problems happen with Magic as often, especially like the conditioning issues. I had one guy. I started a video about this a while back, but got interrupted by a phone call from a client. I wanted to get that call done because it was more important than whatever I was talking about. But this guy, he orders a W stamped Kabuto promo from me from the old WotC era. I can't remember the exact number on the 43 or something, 44. So he orders this Black Star W stamp, and I looked this thing over 3 or 4 times. I mean, it's as close to near mint as you can possibly get on this card these days. I mean, we're talking about a card that's what, 25 years old. So, and those, older cards like that weren't really babied. This guy had babied these cards since the day he got them 25 years ago. So this is as clean an example as you could hope for. I know he wanted to grade it. I get that. Everyone wants to grade their shit these days. It drives me nuts. He had the balls to tell me, look, I'm unhappy with my purchase. It's a light play card, not near mint. And I called him out on it. I was like, great, send the card back. I will send you a self-addressed envelope. You send the card back to me, and I'll give you a full refund. I'll give you a full refund. He's like, well, I don't want to do that because the card's gone up quite a bit since I ordered. And for me to get another near mint, it would be, $8 more or something like that. They sold to him for 36 bucks. This is over a $36 car. Come the fuck on. I have other shit to worry about in my day that's worth a lot more than $36 than deal with this guy. But I will. I'm gonna hold the line because I know this was a clean card. He tried to say there was a crease on it. And he actually wanted it MP or damaged. And I was like, no, I'm not cutting the price in half for you. You can send it back in. And then he's like, well, I think I'll keep it. I was like, no, I don't want you to keep something that you're not happy with. You reached out to me and TCGPlayer and said you're not happy with the order. And if it really is damaged, then send it back to me and get a full refund. I'm willing to do that. I'm more than happy to do that. I'm not going to cut the price of the card in half for you, though. And he just says he'll keep it and then stop communicating. So I think TCGPlayer got rid of his negative review. They were like, yeah, this you offered to do what what you felt was right for the guy. And he didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'm cool with that too, because I did what I could. I'm not going to cut the price of the card in half because I don't think it's damaged. I looked that card over 3 or 4 times before I sent it out. So if he damaged it, great. That's on him. But I know it wasn't damaged when I sent it out. And I shipped it in a sleeve and a top loader. It was a secure card. So that's the kind of shit you have to deal with when you sell Pokemon cards online. I will say it drives me up the wall. These condition princesses are a nightmare. And it's on anything, any fucking thing. A binder card. The guy wanted half off his order because his one of his binder cards was light play instead of near mint. And I was like, brother, that is not light play. Please read the. I think this is my honest to God opinion. TCGPlayer should have a checkbox when you order a card that is listed as near mint that states you have read and understand a near mint order does not mean a mint card. I think that would solve so many problems because at least then you have some acknowledgement on the buyer's end that they are If you're expecting a PSA 10 gradable card when you order near mint, that's not, then your expectations are out of line. I want some sort of acknowledgement from people on that when they order. I think that would be a huge help. Now, would it stop everything? Of course not. Some people are still going to do it. But I think that would be a huge help. It seems like a huge oversight for TCGPlayer not to do this. It seems almost dumbfounding how simple of a choice that is when you place your order. They already have you click all the stupid boxes for promotions and shit. And oh, we're going to sell your information, but we're also going to send you little coupons for 5% off. All that sort of stuff. But they don't have something just acknowledging that I have read and understand the TCGPlayer conditioning standards. That's it. That's all you have to do. Especially if you order multiple times. If you're a one-time Andy and you order one time, you're not going to do all that. But if you're on TCGPlayer, you're a regular orderer. You order hundreds of cards a year. You should understand and acknowledge that you understand their conditioning standards. Period. That's all I'm asking for. I know I'll never get it because it makes it buyer unfriendly or whatever. But whatever. It's just a seller right. So let's talk about the collection point again. A lot of little cards, $2 to $10 or so. Nothing major. Love getting it at the price I'm getting it at. I think I'm paying $3.15 for everything. The total value is somewhere around 580, maybe a little bit more, depending on once I get them listed. I don't list at market, right? I buy at market. I don't list at market. I list usually about 15 to 20% above market. And stuff still sells. I still get about 5 to 7 orders a day, sometimes more. That's a good balance for me. It's a pretty passive way to make an extra $70 a day or so. And $7 a day doesn't sound like a lot. I know it's not a lot. It's not a life-changing amount or anything like that. But until I can sort of build up more inventory and keep things and dedicate more time to it, then that's where I want to keep it for now. The reason I can only dedicate so little time to it right now is real estate's kind of picking back up. We have sold 2 properties this week, just today. So 3 closings total, a double-sided one. And then we have a multifamily under contract and a couple more things that are kind of in the works, as they say, that I can't wait to get off my plate because they've been like just a thorn for a long time. Nothing high end, nothing crazy. I'm an investment real estate agent. I'm the bad guy, according to everybody. I sell people investment properties that they rent out. Um, and again, that's something a lot of people just don't understand. They read the bullshit online about landlords and stuff. They have no clue what it really is like. So if anybody should talk to landlords in front of you, I feel bad for them. They probably had a shitty experience at some point, but the reality of the fact is it's just not. Most landlords are not like that. If you're dumb enough to rent from a hedge fund, sure, you're going to get treated like shit. You kind of deserve it because you should know who your landlord is, not their first name. You don't want to call, Carl's your landlord. You don't want to have Carl's cell phone number, and he doesn't want you to call him either. But you should be aware if you're renting from an individual, or corporation, or like a massive hedge fund corporation. But enough. That's total ramble. That's a different video for sure. My audio's gonna be all over the place. My little microphone's not staying in place. But we got some cop action up here. Hey, buddies. Oh, he's got the camera. He's pointing the camera right at me. Whew, not today, pal. Not today. So that's the. I'm excited to get any sort of collection like this. Pretty much everything should be near mint. It's all modern, mostly modern stuff. They had a lot of the older WotC stuff kind of marked as MP, moderate play, heavy play. So I'm assuming they did some decent conditioning on that. Unless the card's been cleaned in half, it probably is correct. So that'll be a fun one to get listed. I think there's some modern stuff in there. If it says near mint, it's probably near mint. I'm assuming they just pulled it from packs and slapped it in the binder. That's what most people are doing these days. So they kind of fall out of it because they can't get any more cards. They jump in around the Obsidian Flames era or a little bit after. Can't get anything the night last year, and they're kind of out. They don't have like a lifelong commitment kind of thing to it, and that's fine. I'm just glad we were able to come up to a price. I'm gonna have to call my proctologist after this one. Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay, man, the roads here suck. This part of the interstate is always terrible. It's been bad for how long I've lived here? Oh man, 17 years. Yeah, it's been bad since the day I moved here. But I always like picking collections like this up. I was gonna talk about another guy. There's another guy I buy from. I bought from him twice now. Both the first collection was solid, liked it, loved it, started to sell stuff from it. held some stuff back for my cheapy keepies. I'm gonna review those and see what I can list from that to get kind of keep things flowing. I bought another collection from him, kind of sight unseen, because we had built up this rapport. We like each other, we like do business with each other at this point. I offered him 400 for it based on what he had it listed as for. Everything was pretty much near mint. A couple things said damage, and that's fine. They were nicer cards. When I picked the collection up, though, my God, I think less than a third of the cards were actually near mint. The rest were light play, mod play, and there were actually several damaged and heavy play cards. So I went back to him and was like, man, this collection is not what you said it was. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying you probably just didn't give it a very good once over. You scanned them in a day. He deals in a lot of Pokemon cards in bulk. He buys huge collections for people online, so he's sight unseen too. Puts them in little lots, scans them in. His wife sells some stuff on Whatnot. He sells other stuff to people like me. We like each other. We have a good rapport. So I bought this off of him. I told him, look, I can't do more than 280. I mean, a lot of the higher dollar stuff is just fucked up. And it's not going to sell for near mint, therefore I can't really do much with it. And he was understanding. We actually went with that, so that's always good. It's glad. That collection has been a huge pain in the dick. I've had to go through every single card, organize them by condition, then organize them alphabetically, and I haven't even scanned them in yet. I just got all that done. It's not a huge collection. It's about 123 cards, but it still takes a long time to do that. The time I'm doing that, when I have a disorganized collection like that that's not properly conditioned at purchase, where I can sort of do these things quickly, then that's kind of what bothers me because I kind of I get stuck in the weeds doing this stuff. I should be focusing on pricing and pulling orders. So that's kind of what bothers me about collections like that. Luckily it's small and it wasn't this 1,000 card behemoth that I have to figure out. And that's just kind of how that is. But there's another collection I'm working on. This is neat. It's old bulk, like from WotC through like Diamond and Pearl, and it's tons of cards. I mean, it is thousands of cards, and we haven't really agreed on a price yet. And then I found out he doesn't want money for it. He wants retro games to trade, which I have some games and some stuff, but we still need to come up to some sort of agreement on that because he's trying to open a business. He needs the stock for the business. So we still haven't made much progress on that. To be honest with you, I kind of forgot about it until I started talking just now. I got to get a hold of that guy and let him know that I'm still thinking about it. I just hadn't had a whole lot of time to run up and dig through my old shit and find these games and take pictures of everything. So I'll get a hold of him today on that. But yeah, so that's mainly my gripes with TCGPlayer, buyers, sellers, all that sort of stuff. And then the the whole collection buying thing, it can be a mess. I ate total shit on one collection. I bought it for 400 as well. Took it home, and some of the stuff was just missing. He warned me some stuff was missing, but the top three money cards in the thing were Italian. You didn't even notice that three of the highest end cards in the whole fucking thing were Italian. I don't blame them because the names were all the same. You have to really look at the card text to see it's in Italian. I hate to say this. A lot of people that buy and sell Pokemon cards don't realize this. They don't look at card names. I bought a lot of shit from people in other languages just because the name is the same. That's all they look at. They look at the name and the picture. Like, sorry, this isn't like a second grade reading book here. This is we need to actually look at the card itself and see what's going on. So I showed him their Italian. He threw those in for free. Not like they're worth a ton, maybe like 40 bucks. I scanned all the stuff in though. Uh, I was about $240 short of making money. So I told him I will eat shit on the listings and the fees. Um, it's my mistake for not checking before I paid you. But if you don't mind, all I'm asking is that I pay market value of 310, and you'll just Venmo me back the other 90 bucks. And he hasn't done that yet. He said he's going to. I get it. I don't necessarily expect to see that back. He agreed to do it. If he does it or not, it's a different story. A lot of people agree to one thing and then just not to do it. That's just kind of how it is. If you're not willing to run a business like a business, then don't sell your shit. Don't buy stuff to sell. But that's just another yap that I've got about that. It is what it is. There. I mean, I ate shit on it. It's fine. It's 100% my fault. But that kind of burned me. because I am newer to the space. I'm not newer. I'm not new to buying and selling stuff. And it's funny, as a real estate agent that does investment bullshit, I should know to do due diligence. Like I should know. So I'm gonna just take a sip of my coffee here. Not doing due diligence. I'm a little EV on there. Not doing due diligence is a mistake that it is on the buyer anytime. Sellers represent something, and then buyers have the opportunity to look things over prior to payment. We met kind of far out. I had the baby with me, the wife and baby. They were kind of dicking around the store, and we were kind of in a dark corner doing a dark corner deal, and I got fucked over. It's just as simple as that. I did it to myself. I acknowledge responsibility for that. If he does end up giving me the $90, that would be cool. I would appreciate it. But right now, I'm looking to lose probably about $170, $200 on that alone, which, you know, not like it just sucks, but it's not like a mind-boggling loss. I have a sheet that I put in everything where I put the value, who I bought the collection from, how much I paid, and what my scanned value is. Sometimes if I think about it, I put the listed amount in there, and then I'll do like a price to see what percentage I actually ended up paying. And I did really well on pretty much everything except for that. That I got bid on that one, and I ended up paying over 100%, of course. So that sucks. It kind of balances out some of the others. At least it was a small one. There's another deal. This is fucking crazy. I bought a bunch, not a bunch. I bought like a Magic has these fat boxes, fat bundles. Like I can't remember. They used to call them, but they used to call them fat boxes. I think they had to stop that because it's politically correct. As a fat man, I can admit that I don't really care. So they used to sell these things, the bundle boxes. He had a TCG bundle box, mostly full of base set shadowless cards and some other stuff, some older WotC foils and stuff that were kind of damaged and didn't paint. And I that collection sat on my desk because I hate scanning in base set shadowless. It's a mix of shadowless base set first edition, Gym Heroes, Team Rocket, Jungle, Fossil. It was all that stuff. If you've never scanned in several hundred cards of those, it's a pain in the ass. It sucks because you're likely going to be manually inputting most things. The scanner itself just is terrible when it comes to picking up what things actually are. Half the shit it said was base set 2. It couldn't pick up on the shadowless very well. And I made sure to change my settings to reflect what I was scanning in. It still wasn't very good with it. But once I got everything scanned in, I paid $280 for this collection. At the time, it was valued around $560, so I offered to do like 50%, give or take. Sorry about that. So by the time I finally got around to scanning it in, about a month and a half later, vintage stuff and base set stuff has gone up so much that collection, and I haven't even done the Japanese yet, which had some good Japanese in there. That collection came in around 16 to 1800, listed at 1800. And I was like, well, I can list it, you know, aggregately as 1800, but is anybody gonna buy anything? Yeah, people are buying shit from the base and shadowless stuff, and a lot of it was near mint. Some had binder dings. It was clearly that kind of collection, where people had binder dings going on. But it's selling. It's selling quite well. I'm glad to see it move. I did have my inventory down for a couple days, just so I can kind of look at a few things I have listed near mint that are nicer to see if I need to knock them down a peg. So at this point, if it's listed as near mint on my shop and it's a nicer card, by TCGPlayer standards, it is a near mint card. Period. I'm tired of double, triple checking this shit just to have people complain about it later. Now, if it's a $5 card, there may be some play there, but it's not really. It's because I'm not putting as much effort into looking at those. Because the fact of the matter is, you cannot. No one has the time in the day to look at every single card and condition it 100% correctly per TCGPlayer standards. I know people can lie and say they do that. They just don't. Because I have a small amount in my store. I'm talking about a store with 1,700 cards, and I don't have time to look through all that shit because I'm trying to get more. I want 5,000 cards by the end of the year. I may not be able to do that if I keep selling stuff. It's gonna be kind of hard to replace everything that quickly. And at some point, I'm just gonna end up with a bunch of like hollows and reverse hollows that are worth 40 cents a piece. But even those kind of I'm sorry, but so that's kind of where the shop is right now. It's back online. I checked everything. Really sick of people saying it's not near mint when it clearly is. Um, one guy shipped his back. He was so confident it just wasn't near mint. He shipped it back. He clearly wanted to grade it. He probably ran it through a grading app. Said it was going to be a 9 instead of a 10, maybe an 8 instead of a 9. Whatever he's looking for. It was the Toga P Black Star from way back in the day, and he didn't have any issues. He said it's not the condition I needed in. So I'm just gonna. He said it was LP. It was not light plate. I got the card back. I looked it over with fine tooth comb. That motherfucker's not LP. It is near mint. It's pretty much mint, as a matter of fact. It has, I think, less than 1 millimeter of whitening on the back. So that's why he sent it back. He wanted to grade it. He wanted to grade it because the Black Star promos and PSA 9s and 10s are doing good things right now. That's exactly what that was what he had on his mind. He wanted to grade it, try to make some money on it, which is fine. That's certainly a play. But and I'll tell you why I know he's doing that. Because he didn't even ask for a self-addressed envelope to send it back. His email, his message to TCGPlayer said, "Hey, it's not near mint, it's LP. I'm just gonna send it back, no problem. Don't worry about an envelope. You'll get it back in the mail in a few days, a week, whatever." That was it. Easiest guy ever to deal with in terms of that. I still blocked him from my store. I'm sorry. Look, if you're doing the grading play and you piss me off by returning shit that's in near mint condition, and try to lie to me and lie to TCGPlayer and say it's not near mint, you're blocked. You can't buy anything else from my store ever again. Nice try. You have to make another account for that. And if I see it's going to one of those addresses, it's your blacklist, your blackball. I'll cancel your shit. And we'll call it that. Try again. But yeah, it's still fun selling stuff on TCGPlayer. I just don't like a lot of the just the bullshit that comes with it. I don't know if I really want to do this long term because Pokemon players are such, not players, I'm sorry, players don't mind at all. Pokemon collectors, quote unquote, everyone trying to make money on everything, are the most princess people I've ever seen in my life. They're worse than those guys that drive giant lifted trucks when it comes to shit like this. They're such bitches sometimes. I can't say all of them. Some of them are. Most of them are. And they, I'm going to call them out on it from here on out. It seems to be working so far. If I have questions about it, if it's an older order that's just now getting to them for some reason, because USPS kind of sucks, then I will be a little bit more lenient. But if it's anything that's gone out in the last week, it's a hard line. It's definitely a hard line. There's one card I was a little bit unsure of. I discovered it while I was packing it. I didn't send him a message yet. If he messages me back, I'll be more than happy to work with him on that specific card. It's about 13 bucks. If he's like, no, it's not near mint, it's LP, I'll give him that one. I was on the fence about it myself, but the problem was it was already previously listed for about a month under near mint. I forgot about the card completely until he purchased it, and that's when I was like, okay, may have an issue with this one. So if he has a problem with it, I'll definitely, there's going to be some lenience there in terms of being more than willing to work with him instead of just telling him to ship it back, calling it that. But overall, it's still fun. I have a lot of fun still meeting people. This is my favorite part: going out, meeting people, getting their stories, hearing about what they like, what they don't like, why they selling, where they got the cards from, all that sort of shit. This is what I like to do. If I could just kind of meet people, buy collections, and flip the collections for 15% profit to other people, that'd be great. I just don't know if I can really do that. It may be worth that may be worth trying as well. So far, I've been really good at getting collections at good prices to be profitable, which is, I think, the hard part for a lot of people because most people are really bad at negotiating and doing math. I hate to tell you, if you're buying collections at 70%, unless you're direct or something like that, or you just mark everything up like 30, 40% from market and hope to sell it over time, which, your clock may be ticking on that. When the bubble pops, a lot of this shit's going to be a TCGPlayer. It's going to go down in value by a lot, just letting you know. But you have about a year and a half to do this profitably. But if you're buying stuff at 70%, I don't think you're profitable. I just don't see how that's really possible. Profitability can't really happen with that 30% margin you give yourself. At least not profitable enough to be worth it. That's the big difference. Is the juice worth the squeeze at 30%? I don't think so, personally. So I have to get them. I think the most I paid for a collection without that one outlier where it really fucked up, paid over 100%, paid over market for it. Um, I think I'm averaging somewhere right now. I have two that are around 25%, but one of those is my issue. I bought it at about 50, 54. Um, and then most of mine, the bulk of them are around 60 to 65. And I know that 5 to 10% extra doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is because once you do list above market, your margin goes up quite a bit more. That way, it helps make up for the returns or the reductions from condition and things like that. Because you're going to have those in every single collection you buy because the condition princesses are going to come out and they're going to light their torches and they're going to set your ass on fire with TCGPlayer until you give them what they want. And if you don't, then you know if they're fine with you not doing that, you know they're lying, and they're not even going to complain to TCGPlayer about it and escalate the threat or anything like that. I had to escalate the threat on somebody because I knew he was full shit. TCGPlayer didn't really do much though because I don't expect them to. If you expect TCGPlayer to do anything, you're just wrong. They're not going to do shit. I know this is a long ramble. I'm actually almost to where I need to be. I'll probably just keep going until I'm there, make it like a clean almost 30 minutes. No one's gonna watch to the end. I could say whatever the fuck I want to right now. No one would even care. No one's ever gonna hear it. So I don't know what I want to say now. I hope this guy's not a freak. That'd be nice. You know, you meet random people. You don't know what their disposition is. You know, if they're selling Pokemon cards, they're either like people that got in the hobby lately. That's what I've seen a lot of. And like I explained earlier, they got in. It's kind of hard to buy shit now, and they're kind of falling out of love with it. Don't blame them. The average lifespan in the hobby is like what, a year and a half anyway, and that's normal. I expect that sort of stuff. Um, could be some weirdo that stole the cards from somebody, you know, ripped off his kid brother or something, and needs some drug money. You know, you don't know until you meet. If you get a weird feeling from somebody, you just kind of dip out. Or you fuck it, you just buy it and call it a day. I mean, if it's stolen, I would never buy something I was really convinced is stolen. But if they're, you know, pretty much okay, then it is what it is. And then I'm here to try to make money and build something so I can sell the amount necessary to get those tax benefits. I know it sounds awful, but that's really the goal. I don't sell TCG player cards because I would not deal with this shit ass platform. I would much rather just have distribution sell shit directly, but that's never going to happen. So I have to do what I have to do. I do this. I would never do this to pay bills and make my living this way because the headache is unreal. I work for 10 to 15 hours a week actively doing the real estate thing. I need to work for more. The baby's not really letting me do that. I used to work for like 60 hours a week plus. Um, to pay. That's what I do to pay the bills. I have a relaxed job I can do from home most of the time. Sure, you got to drive out to some properties every now and then, do stuff there. But it's a pretty relaxed job. I get to do it from home, spend time with the baby and the wife. It's a great setup for now. It works. I don't know if that's gonna be that way forever. Who knows? You know, life is crazy like that. I've been in real estate now for about 10 years. Not buying and selling houses, just in the industry for 10 years. Different facets. Love to go into that at some point. But yeah, I would never sell cards to pay the bills because the headache is tremendous and the payoff is a joke. If the funny thing is, I have the money to buy these huge collections. I can do it. If somebody comes up to me and is like, "Hey, I got $10,000 worth of shit to sell you. I'll sell it to you at 70, 65, 70%." I can jump on that all day long. It may take me a while to get things listed and sorted and finally up, but I can do that all day long. But no one's really wanting to do that. They're just so overvaluing everything they have, and I think that's really the problem. Is people? I've had a lot of people reach out and say, "Why can't you buy it like 85%? You know, the fees are 15%." I'm like, okay, point. What's your point? So you only want me to lose 15%? Then I see. You want me to just pay for shipping everything out of pocket because it's a fucking charity. What do you want me to do? I can't buy it 85%. Well, what about 80? Like, no, the 5% margin is I have 20% to work with, so I got 15% fees with shipping's free, so that they really don't get it. They never sold anything. They sold shit in person, maybe at a card store, whatever, but they never sold anything online. They don't get it, and you don't know what you don't know, but you try to explain to people, and they act like you are a scam artist. I've had people straight up say that I'm ripping people off. It's like I'm not. I'm offering a choice. And I have no bad blood with anybody if you don't take it. I have no problems with somebody that says no when I offer, 65% on the dollar. I, 65 cents on the dollar, I guess. But, I have no problem if somebody says no. I don't hound them. I don't harass them. Don't harangue them. That's a fun word. I just say, okay, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll be here if you ever change your mind, and we can make that work. At that point, we'll have to kind of redo the valuation, but I can make it work. Whenever you decide you want to sell it, if you ever do decide that you want to. So that's it for the rambling now. I think just kind of wait for this guy. I probably need to get off of here and let him run here. But oh yeah, that's living life, as they say. It doesn't really cause stress, but it does take away free time that could be used doing things that are less stressful or relieve stress. But I still, that's the meeting people I have a lot of fun with. I just haven't been doing a lot of meeting people in buying collections. Like a lot of it's been internal, shop side, um, adjusting prices, things like that. So yeah, it's still fun. It is what it is. I like doing it. Um, but we hopefully we'll have a break coming up soon. I'd love to do that too. Can't wait to get away from it for a little bit. As long as I hit my goal this year of selling 5K or more, which I should be able to do that, then should be golden. I can write off everything that I've spent on cards this year, sealed and singles, and hopefully, doing the taxes is kind of gonna suck. I gotta pay my accountant more money, but they'll figure it out. They'll figure out a way to make it profitable in the long run. You put up with the pennies to save the pounds, right? Any time you're in investing or the financial world and you do your own taxes and you have a complicated tax situation, even like a little bit complicated, more than just here's my, what is it, 10, here's my W-2, I'm going to file a 1040, I'm going to get money back because I'm an idiot and I give the government a free 0% loan every year. That's all your tax refund is, by the way. You don't know that. You should be getting close to zero back. Even if you pay $100 at the end of the year, great. It means you got your money throughout the year when it actually matters. If you can't save money for the life of you, sure, getting a refund every year is not bad, I guess. But that's the real benefit of it. You have to work hard to make the pennies to then get those tax benefits from it. Because at the end of the day, taxation is what fucks a lot of people over, and they'll live their whole life and never truly realize it. They never realize that so much of the money they earn just gets pumped into the government for really nothing in return, not a whole lot for the average person. So you need to figure out ways to minimize your liability, maximize your deductions and your investment. And when you do stuff like this, you can invest in sealed product throughout the year as a reseller. There's no timeline on that. For most states, really federally, I don't believe there's a timeline on it. You can hold that, but that money you put into that sealed becomes tax deductible. If you have a business and you sell over $5,000 a month, you get 1099K from TCGPlayer. Then anything else you do outside TCGPlayer, you just need a log. You need a spreadsheet and do all that. But again, the benefit is likely going to be worth. This is my first time really playing with it, but I'm sure it will be. I understand how a lot of this stuff works. I deal with it a lot. With real estate, doing my taxes every year sucks. You own three houses. One you live in, the other two you have other people live in. You pay for HVAC repair for one of those houses. You damn right that's deductible. They're not going to tax you on that because that's a business expense. You're keeping the show running for that property. But anyway, this is like way long, so I'm going to cut it off and talk to you later. No one's going to see this anyway, so